4.
First at 4, the Vatican says Pope Francis died from a stroke that put him in a coma and led to irreversible heart failure. The death certificate also lists his prior health struggles, including bilateral pneumonia and type 2 diabetes. We also learned the Pope decreed in his will that he will be buried in St. Mary Major Basilica in a simple underground tomb.
The 88-year-old was the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, known for his humble style of ministry and concern for the poor.
Now, earlier this year, Pope Francis suffered a serious bout of double pneumonia, but his death came less than a day after he was driven around St. Peter's Basilica, St. Peter's Square, to greet cheering crowds Easter Sunday.
Now, the Pope will lie in state in St. Peter's Basilica before his funeral is held in St. Peter's Square. Then, 15 to 20 days from now, the conclave will take place where the cardinals will meet to elect a new pope. And we have team coverage on the reaction here in Central Ohio. NBC4's Eric Halperin spoke with students at Ohio State's Newman Center today.
But first, let's go to NBC4's Colleen Marshall, who just spoke with Bishop Earl Fernandez of the Diocese of Columbus. Colleen?
Well, the bishop is going to preside over a requiem mass to honor the pontiff tonight at 7 at St. Joseph's Cathedral, and says Catholics worldwide are remembering and reflecting on the life of Pope Francis. The Argentine-born pontiff was the first non-European leader of the Catholic Church. He replaced Pope Benedict back in 2013. Benedict, of course, resigned from a somewhat troubling time as Pope, and Francis was elected by the conclave back then, the conclave of cardinals, who were looking for a religious leader who could restore stability and inspire the faithful. I asked Bishop Fernandez to reflect on the life and legacy of Pope Francis.
He brought a sense of energy to the church, a sense of openness to the church. Obviously, he's the first Latin American pope, and so he brought that perspective of living and working and ministering amongst the poor to the global church. He didn't want a church that was self-referential, but that went outside its comfort zone. So I really see in Pope Francis this kind of missionary push.
Catholic Church will observe the traditional 9-day period of mourning for the Pope. He will be buried 4 to 6 days after death, as is tradition of the Catholic Church. The conclave of cardinals will then convene to choose the next pope, a process that is expected to last several days. Only cardinals younger than the age of 80 are allowed to vote for the man who will become the 267th bishop of the Catholic Church.